Hello and welcome in, beautiful peasants. Got a fun stream plan today, and it's actually the plan from yesterday, but I think it's actually going to happen today. If you missed yesterday, essentially, I had a lot of stuff planned, all kinds of work, all kinds of production, and then we got derailed by a bunch of tavern pets, which is great because, again, I super appreciate the donations. It was great. I just didn't expect to do 4, so. Also, my headset came in. That was in the middle of stream yesterday. This mic is not what you guys are hearing. Weirdly, this is for me to hear myself. You guys probably noticed that I used to wear headphones and then like I'd have AirPods and I wouldn't and then I would. Essentially, it's like I like to listen to music loud, but then I can't hear myself and the disconnect feels really weird. So these headphones are weird because I can loop it back so I can hear myself again. So it's a self mic. It's like micception. There's like 2 mics. One's for me, one's for you guys. Very weird. Anyway. If I'm talking quieter than normal, it's because I can actually hear myself. Let me know and I can speak up if needed or just keep moving my mic closer. Alrighty. Without further ado, let's get into the question of the day and all that good stuff. Alright, so it's for today, the question of the day. I'm a little biased. It says, this is from Aloha. What's the most underrated or personal favorite D&D edition? I've only ever played 5e, so I'm going to say 5e. Technically, I played a bit of... No, I haven't played Pathfinder, but I have played the game Wrath of the Righteous, and therefore I'm familiar with the mechanics, but I haven't officially played it. So yeah. I think my headphones are set to small setting. I think you are correct. My headphones just booped. I don't know what that means. I'll check it out later. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Yeah. Options, things. Anyway. Thank you very much. Aloha, always read the question of the day. And I'll go back to my own job one day. All right. Also, this is the free STL. I think I might have offered him once before, but he's really awesome. So go get him. Fancy nobleman. One of the few Warforged I did when I was kind of on that turning point and getting more comfortable doing Warforged. So very cool. And the M3DM updates, I wonder if that's a Kickstarter link. It is. Thank you, Ricky, because you know I was not going to be able to find it. Speaking of, we have a new project coming out. If you're a legendary patron, just look and be like, oh, how fun. If you're anything other than a legendary patron, rare, not a patron at all, whatever, then this is especially geared toward you guys. There's 40 minis included in this collection, all sculpted by me. And they are resin and FDM friendly. We have prints for both, and we share those files. So right here, that split point on top is FDM and on bottom is resin. My husband has printed these over and over again to make sure they're reliable and consistent. Obviously, printers are different, but it's definitely going to get you a huge head start because there's not really a whole lot of love and support for FDM, or for minis especially. The only catch is we do use a 0.2 nozzle for it, and that's about it. But it's pretty awesome. Whether you guys plan to back or not, I would super appreciate y'all clicking that link and giving it a follow. It makes a huge difference. Same with just sharing the project in general to anyone else that you think would be remotely interested. We got some really cool, some bangers in this, and I think like all of them are on stream too. So yeah. Aloha, this is fighting for my life. Question of the day with D&D stuff. I barely know anything about it. I try to kick up questions for veterans in Discord. Don't expose me, please. Sorry. You do such a good job, I'd never know. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Aloha, you can ask games. You can ask questions about video games, movies, shows, literally anything you want. I'm so sorry I never specified that. It doesn't have to be about D&D. Just community stuff. I feel like that was a very important bit of information that I never shared with you. Whoops. Anyway, you should, now you know that. Maybe have things easier. It's forever now. Ah, beautiful. Alrighty. I'm so excited to share this with you guys once it's all done. It's going to be launching in like a week. So, but in the meantime, it's free to click notify and launch. So please do. I'm going to be talking about this nonstop. So there's just the first time you guys have heard it. You know what? I'm just going to put it here and I'll click around to move stuff behind it. All right. I think I did question of the day. Yes. Yes. We're all set. Alrighty. I'm going to get this rock wall done. And I did increase the tavern pets to $40. I don't know if that's going to be permanent or not. It's just for right now. It might be really biased, guys. I might just be expensive some days, and it might be a good deal other days. I have no idea. It's just like how much I want to get stuff done. So yes. Sater says, Mia, can you stop withholding information from your mods? It's stressing them out. Ella said, you see Ella's Patreon. Oh, of course, of course. No, trust me. I got all the behind the scenes deets on that. I need to check in with her again. I know she was having mixed feelings about it. Excited, but you know, it's stressful, so I need to check in with her. Alrighty. And yeah, anyone could do question of the day or any of my mods. Alright, without further ado, let's start making this rock wall. It's mostly done. It's very rock. I haven't made a pillar yet, so we're gonna do that. Oh, also the best thing about this, which I forgot to mention, is I'm listening to the Claire Obscure. Do we call it Claire Obscure or do we call it Expedition 33? I think we call it Expedition 33. Anyway, that's the soundtrack I'm listening to right now. It's wonderful, and I'm very happy I can listen to it and still talk on stream without feeling like I can't hear myself. So, win for the new headphones, for sure. Alright, well, with all of that being said, gonna kind of kick back here and move around some rocks. Yeah, I agree. Alright, so what I do with these rock walls, essentially I just make a pattern that is somewhat not identical looking, and then I just duplicate it a bunch of times. That's the trick. That's it. And then later on, if you need more variety and stuff, you can go back through and then you can go ahead and use that combination trick where I have massive polygroups to 100. And then usually either the H polish brush or the fancy orb pack one you get from ArtStation for free. And then you kind of just mess up a couple blocks here and there, and it does wonders for keeping things looking a little different and not so samey. Unless you're going for samey, you totally can. It'd still look good, honestly. Hello says, I'm waiting patiently for the next Mia update on the story progress. I'm just scooping up the last trophies of the game for the 100%. Oh, very nice, very nice. I am so excited for someone to, request an Expedition 33 inspired model, because I know they will. It's coming, for sure. I feel like I need to specify that more on my request board, that like, because I mentioned like you can't request like Star Wars or like Mickey Mouse, or I like using Disney because everyone seems to understand that. But it doesn't mean you can't ask for like stuff that's inspired by it. And it's not going to be like a cheap inspired, like it's going to be like similar in that world, but not a copy. So yeah. So kind of a background thought of designing this wall is that it is going to be FDM and resin compatible. And that's just making sure there isn't like too high res, I guess, and then also nothing that's too large of an overhang. It's weird designing stuff that's specifically FDM and resin compatible, because I'm used to just considering one. But it's actually worked out quite well. All right, I'm gonna grab that orb flatten brush because it really does a good job. Sater says, Mia, for your information, Warrior is 5e fighter subclass. That is literally just a Jedi. I think I heard someone told me that before. Sounds right. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good Monday. I know I did. I am excited to get some work done here, though obviously I am a good sport regardless. I believe we actually got a really good amount of progress on that gunslinger. And then I saw Taco was here earlier, so hello. And one of the other requests that's been coming up soon is yours, so maybe we'll start that today. That's that mannequin. I don't know if you were lurking yesterday, but straight up I looked at it and I was like, I'm tired, and your request just was a couple sentences longer, so I pushed it to today. It looks really cool though. I'm excited to kind of see what it's all about. Because it's gonna be like a construct, but more literal on the, like a mannequin, like a tailor's dummy. Hey, RV is here. Hello, hello, welcome in. We've already gotten more done on the rock wall than we did all of yesterday, so I'm feeling good about that. But now I have to 3D print all the chibis I made yesterday at the very least, because now I want them. We've got the whole little family. Alright, this rock wall is looking very rock. I think what I'm going to do is take these little, what is this? Shapes that are like inside of it and just make it like a really rough gravel texture, just in case anything that does poke through, it's still looking nice and intentional. I'm going to use a layer brush for that. And then click on something that looks, I don't know, scratchy. There we go, something kind of like that. It's going to read really well as gravel. And then backface mask. Yeah, something kind of like that. Perfect. You're like, that doesn't look like gravel at all. I'm like, yeah, trust me, it all works out. Okay, at the bottom, that's gonna be a problem. Don't do that. There we go. Just having something that isn't perfectly smooth makes a big difference. How high res do you want to be? You're already 500,000 points. There you go. Oh, and I'm so glad that y'all loved the Cherry Blossom Dragon that released yesterday, because it was a ton of work and I'm really proud of it. So I honestly think the 3D print looks even better than the actual model itself, which that always feels good. That is like the in-game product after all. All right, if I move these rocks around a touch more, but I don't want to get picky just for the sake of being picky, you know? Hasn't Reaper been on you at pacing your content? She has. Oh my goodness. It's like she wants this to be like a cohesive, coherent, nice, high quality live stream or something. I made sure to disagree and argue. Well, like, honestly, keeping mental notes. I'm like, okay, that's a good point. Yesterday was definitely not a Reaper-friendly stream. Reaper, she just won't listen. I know, I'm the worst. Hello, it says Mia, the splash screen of your recent set of models is your best one yet, in my opinion. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, with the creepy bug man and... Okay, we keep talking about it. Why don't I just show it to you guys? Because I know at least someone is in the chat being like, what? Where even is it in my own Discord? Here it is. This. I made these things. Yeah, all of them. They turned out like super gorgeous. So I have the renders and stuff, but these are 3D printed. And that dice right there is a normal D20 dice. Like, I get so many questions about what size that D20 is. And I'm like, I don't know, what dice are you guys playing with? They're like, well, there's different sizes. I'm like, I know, but they're all about like this big, like universally. Anyway, those minis are on the same base as this queen. So yeah, this is like the Bugman stuff. So yeah, that Cherry Blossom Dragon though. Ah, bitchin'. So freaking happy. Look at that. Unpainted. That's just off the printer. Amazing. All right, let's scoot this on over. And we're back. Yeah, Bugman, Dragon, Solid Warrior, absolutely. Hey, Steamworks is here. What's up? Hello, hello. Reaper says, I'm more afraid of burnout, but that's a good excuse. You know, interestingly, that never really crossed my mind that that's what you're trying to prevent. Sometimes by being off topic, it's kind of like a refresh. Does that make sense? But no, I absolutely hear what you're saying. If it feels like I'm just like, it's part of the bit. You know what I mean? To be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so distracting. This is so annoying, but like I'm having a great time. Like it's just part of the bit. Not to break the immersion, guys. I know, immersion ruined. That's like the benefit of my Patreon, especially because that's where all these models go, right? I don't have like a set number of models that I have to get done every single month. Oh, hey, new sub. Thank you. Kevin. All right. Let's keep moving these around. Actually, you know what? At this point, we're just fiddling. This is good. This is good. Very rock, very wall. All right, this needs more small rocks to look more like this. I'm gonna grab this guy. I'm gonna duplicate this whole subtool, Command-Shift-Click, so just one is showing, and then delete hidden. And there you go. And I can rotate this around, and this will be our little fill-in rock. Still fixing stuff as I see it, though. It's good. Awesome. If I do a good job with that and turn off perspective, then I don't have to keep fiddling around with all three axes. I can then just hold down Command, click and drag, and do this really quickly. And then if like, oh, if it looks a little stiff, or I can kind of flip them around every now and then, that kind of stuff. Or even use a move topological brush after the fact and just kind of squish. This is not exactly going to be a crowning jewel of a project. It's just a rock wall. Though funny enough, when I put models like this into a Kickstarter, I mean, this tends to be the reason that pushes people to like, you know what, I have to have it. Because it's like that blend of like practical stuff and really fun stuff. So yeah, oh, Ray's here. Hello, hello. Yeah, mini blades, I'm aware there's different sizes of D20, but there's definitely a most common size, or like within. I know people do those really cool liquid core ones, like the jumbo D20s. They have like a whole like little world inside of them. I've seen those get up to like a couple $100 before. All right, looking good. Now I'm going to take all of these rocks here, and I don't like this top rock. It's not speaking to me. If I just smush you around. There we go. I'm at odds with this top rock. I don't need a solution for it. I'm finding it myself, but I have to be careful with what I complain about on stream. Otherwise I rally the forces. I guess because to me, it's just like, it's part of like that artistic process of like, don't like, replace, iterate. You know what I mean? So it sounds like it's a negative thing that I'm like trying to like fix. But I do that all the time. I just don't always say it out loud, if that makes sense. Here we go. See, it's been like 30 seconds and I'm like, ah, yes. This rock speaks to me. Very rock. Kind of looks a little palisade-y right now. I don't want anyone to like spear themselves. I just want like a little rock. Alright, split mass points and scoot. Have some sort of round shape. There we go. All right, that's plenty good enough. So now I'm gonna take this column and merge all these pieces together because the other side of the wall is all naked and we need to fix that. There's probably a different word other than naked to use there. Rockless, maidenless, okay. Merge down, grab all my things. All right, and now I can do mirror by weld across the Z axis, and it kind of worked. I forget that I have moved the scene over a touch. How about I just grab all of this, toggle on the little, when you click on this, it just changed from moving one subtool to moving everything in your scene. So I scoot that over a little bit, and now click mirror. See? Aha, now it's working. It's working. I want it even closer because this does not need to be so thick. God, the Expedition 33 soundtrack is so good. I'm like in a totally different little like planet over here. Maybe I can't listen to this when I stream. It's like very distracting. Where did this come from? Oh, I had X turned on as well. I mean, I don't hate it. It actually looks quite good. Sater says, somebody's been listening to her books with her new headphones. No, I have not. I don't listen to audiobooks. I read. Though interesting, they did a study on that where like the difference between processing a book between reading it and listening to it, they're exactly the same. So if anyone tries to like book snob you, if you do like audiobooks, just know that they're wrong. Also, I'm a snob. I don't listen to them. I do both. If I'm crocheting, I like to listen to them. Hey, Yoni Sarah. Ooh, no headphones. Yes, they came in yesterday and I love them. They're all dragony. Someone is slacking on the quote preservation. That's not the worst thing. That's okay. Wait, what? Leave the chat for like a hot second. No. Maidenless is like an Elden Ring joke. I need to like back up a little bit. And I said naked because of the back. Wow, I really should have watched the order in which I said those things. Okay, I understand now. No. They were separate comments about the same thing. Not my own mod, like, roasting me right from the get-go. It's fine. All right, same thing with this. We can do a nice little mirror and weld. Scoot. Okay, this isn't connected, but I would like for it to be. Scoot. Mirror and weld. Definitely not across X, just Z. I just went on this back side. Oh, that's not the direction I thought it was. There we go. Sweet, I'm gonna get this done during warm-up. I love to see it. I think Ricky is lurking. I'm almost done with your wall. All right, delete lower, and then same thing. It's just a lot of mirror and welding. Boop. Amazing. Very rock. And yeah, these columns are gonna be separate option pieces as well. I'll have a version that's all merged together and one that's not. Is Ricky here? I don't know. Is Ricky here? Reaper says, Mia, you hired us, which means we can roast you mercilessly. I don't remember that being on the onboarding discussion, but you guys all seem to be in agreement on it. Love it. Ray says, Mia, if you think I'm slacking on quotes, I'll have to up my game. No, you're fine. You're doing great. Aloha says, fantastic job on the graphics for the Kickstarter. Huge improvement and truly looking amazing at Ricky. Oh, I love that. I'll have to let him know that if he's not lurking. He's here most of the time. He just doesn't talk most of the time. I'm sure Ricky is like, shh, don't tell the peasants that. Ooh, a Satyr chat question of the day. Let's go. I wish you could put it in the like fancy YouTube format, but I digress. Why is this colored now? Whatever. Sure. All right, and now I should take this. I don't want to deal with both sides right now, so I'm gonna duplicate it. Rotate, and now there should be more sides. Check that out. It's like magic. Someone will look at this and be like, this is the same rock wall on every side. And I'll be like, yeah, don't worry about it. I like my rock walls with variety. Emotional depth. All right, we really don't need this other column either. Go away. And then I'm going to add some rocks to the top as well. So we're going to duplicate this. Pick a rock that I like. This one looks very rock. Sometimes things just don't have to sound complicated when you work on them. You know what I mean? Like they're rocks. I'm moving around rocks. And then I'm going to change the size and vary them up a touch. Honestly, for the top right here, I'm just kind of detailing it in a way that doesn't draw attention, if that makes sense. It would make sense if these were flatter, actually. Getting rid of these. There's still thought behind it, just less thought. I just don't want it to be attention drawing, if that makes sense. Because it's just the top of the model. It doesn't hurt to flip them every now and then. All right, let's grab like this little pebble. You guys have to yell at me in the chat if I like don't talk, because usually I'm super chatty, but it's my first day like listening to music as well in a long time, and I am just loving it. Oh goodness. Oh, we're talking. Wait. We're talking about airbending and what? Like, wait, is there an Avatar discussion going on that I completely missed? Because this is important. Isn't airbending arguably the best because you just bend the air out of their lungs? They cover that in Avatar. And bloodbending, I'm just gonna say. Amazing. Hello says, I'm now making bloodbending my entire personality. Thanks, guys. What would you guys be though? Like, seriously. And that, well, I'm thinking specifically in the Avatar world, but like, and you can say like a non-bender, I guess. I feel like it'd be so depressing to be a non-bender though. I don't know. I heard someone say that to me once. They're like, I feel like creatively I'm like a non-bender in this world. I'm like, that's terrible. Don't say that. Go get inspired. Go make stuff. Because it's not gonna be easy. I'm not sure what I would be. I just know I wouldn't be Earth. I definitely wouldn't be Earth. Probably fire, honestly. There's something about Azula's character that deeply resonates with me in a way that I'm like, she's not very nice. I don't know. It's like I guess like the perfectionism. It's like the doing well and then working hard on top of that. And I don't know. I feel like I'm in my non-villain arc, and I'm very grateful about that. And we're gonna keep it that way. A couple of these rocks look really silly. Oh no, they're welded together. Okay, in that case, they're just gonna stay there. What I can do is I can duplicate this layer, grab a rock, and then create the illusion that they are two rocks, and that I did not weld them together without noticing. Ah, yes. Very good. We are at the end of doors open, so I'm going to call this good very soon and post-process. Let's go ahead and lower that just a touch. Again, it's detailing that is more about just making it not like attention drawing, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and hide this rock column here. Yes, I did not solve that problem of the edges. Okay. Why does this rock wall need so many rocks? Jesus Christ. Okay. Duplicate, grab a rock. Wham. And I should probably keep this because I would not be surprised if I want to come back to this rock wall later and create like a really druidy version of it. You know, it's like covered like in flowers and vines and that kind of stuff. Maybe one that's being like it's half crumbling. I could actually design that pretty easily from what I have currently. All right, mirror and weld on the Z axis, not Y. Not sure when this got flipped around, but whatever. Sweet, merge down. I love this discussion in the chat right now. This is fantastic. Sater said, Mia loves Korra Saga. I love all of it. But yes, I think there's a lot of decent stuff there, but also a lot of random shenanigans thrown in because they need something for the plot. Actually, I think they just needed more time. I think there was too much plot to squeeze into these little seasons, and they didn't know if it was going to get renewed, and that definitely shows. If you think about it, Ricky's technically a resin bender of the Avatar universe. We're not wrong. Sater says, and yeah, he could glide. I mean, I guess he could fly in the end when he was in Avatar form, but that's different. Arguably, it could be seen... nerd. It could be seen as Magneto-style flight. Oh, there we go. God, I'm such a nerd. Yeah. Gavin of Rotman would be a thing. Yeah, I agree with Taylor. It doesn't exist, though you can problem harness a disease through blood and separate it via bloodborne virus. Nerds. All of this, yes. Yanni, all nerds unite. I like it. I like it. And then Ray mentioned, yeah, I don't think that the avatar form of flying counted as flight. There was, it was like just extremely difficult to do or something. Like it's covered. How do I not remember? It's time to watch it again. I have quite a few series I watch every year. I don't like how these rocks were rocking, so I am finessing them a little bit. There you go. Very good. Much rock. Why do they look so different on both sides? I don't know. Not a bad thing, though. Excellent. Rockwell. Neat. Alright, let's merge this down. I don't know why it keeps changing colors. Don't. Sometimes ZBrush is gonna just do ZBrushy things, and I'm fine with it. Alright, so we have this, and then we also are going to have this column. I don't know. Never mind, I do know. It worked. Just kidding. What I was about to say is not relevant anymore. Alright, let's go ahead and move these around, and then I'm going to clip the bottom of it so it's nice and flat. Excellent. First, what I'm going to do is just check the mesh integrity. There shouldn't be any errors. Nope, there are. That means that I built this with rocks that had problems. It's okay. Fixed. And now I'm going to decimate these. Let's go down to 250,000. Aloha said, can we see some cracks placed on the wall if you have some crack brushes? It's super satisfying. It is. I do have some crack brushes, but no, this shall be perfect wall. No cracks in this wall. But I probably will do like a damaged version too. Oh yeah, and there were firebenders that used themselves, like fire to launch themselves around. I remember that. For anyone that's just tuning in, hello and welcome. I am designing 3D models for tabletop games, specifically 3D printing. And then the chat is just talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, so you're welcome to join in. All right, that's looking good. Same thing with this, just decimate and then remesh. No cracks, sad face. I know, we're crackless. It would make the model more interesting though. I do agree with that. But this makes the model done and therefore more valuable to me right now. All right, I'm gonna use the knife rectangle brush, but I'm also going to save because as I've mentioned, this really likes to crash. So this is one of the few times I'm actually going to save the model unfinished, but I'm going to export this in a bit. And I'll have this rock wall earlier version because it was in that stage where I can build it a bunch of different ways. Does that make sense? The unfinished ZPR has more value than the one where everything is just merged as one piece. Because like, what am I going to do with this? If I wanted to edit this, I really can't because all the rocks have been merged into one piece. And if you're like a new artist and you're not sure what to save, just save everything. You'll know later. You'll know later what you want and don't want. All right, looking pretty good. Wow, I can really decimate these. It's only 11,000 points. All right, I'm not going to go further than that, but very nice. All right, we now have this and this. So I'm going to go ahead and export those. We'll call this... my downloads folder is really full. It's fine. Call this column. Column. This will be the wall, and then I'll do a combo version. Although it says, is Avatar a really long series? Am I going to get swamped in filler content for years trying to watch from the start? Oh God, no, it's great. No, do it. It's not that long. I know what you're talking about though. The amount of people that have dead ass been like, hey, you should watch this anime or show or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I start watching it and I'm like, God, it's really slow, but I know you love it. They're like, oh yeah, it gets good around season 3. And I'm like, do I look a joke to you? I was like, I don't have time to watch 3 seasons to see if I'm gonna like it. Also, if it takes that long to get a story point across, your story sucks. And I'm all about like nuance and stuff. Like, it's one of the many reasons I love Attack on Titan, because the first season, like, you think you know what the plot is about, but you're entertained the whole time, and then you find out, no, that it was not the plot. Really. It's cool, you know, it's kind of like the story just keeps zooming out, if that makes sense. Why are you being... Okay, cool. I was going to complain, but now I don't have to. It worked. Just kidding. It is mad about something. Oh. Yeah, I don't love that. You're 2 solid meshes. Why can't you just play nicely together? Me and my friend groups don't mix well. Okay, fine. I will dynamesh you since you're being stupid. When you dynamesh things together, you're at risk of losing resolution. Yes, you can project details back on, but it's a huge pain. But you can always just do what I just did here and then decimate it after the fact. I just don't do it because it takes slightly longer. But every now and then the mesh is going to be completely weird, and then I do it. Aloha said, just physically fell on my knees looking at rock topology. Hissing like a vampire right now. Don't look at it. Stop it. This is a safe place. I feel the same with One Piece. Yep, that I didn't watch it, but I started reading it, yeah, per friend recommendation. And I'm like, it's fun, it's cool. Oh my God. Yeah, no, Avatar is fantastic. So, although it's worth noting that, like, Avatar was aired on, like, what was it? Nickelodeon, which is a, like, kids channel in America. Like, it's not meant for kids, but it's, like, easily digestible for kids. It's so good. Oh, hey. Matt Gibson, but better said, Living Valkyrie. That's a much better name. Thanks for the sub. But yeah. There we go. Taylor says, I adore Avatar The Last Airbender. It's one of the stories that got me interested in writing my own, particularly the twists and turns at the climax of book 2. Right? Oh my God. Avatar says. Sater says, Mia doesn't agree. What do I not agree with? But I wish I'd done the spin-off centered around the first Avatar, not the next one. Avatar 1 deserves so much more than an episode. Yeah, he gets a few episodes in Legend of Korra. It's not just one, if I remember that correctly. I was really sick the first time I watched Legend of Korra. That it was a little fever dreamy, not gonna lie. Hello, we have Nickelodeon here too. Okay, I don't know why I assumed that would be an exclusive thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about then. I swear, I am not that stereotypical American that thinks I'm the center of the world. I just don't assume everyone knows the same things that I know. But it doesn't surprise me at all that you guys have that. Sater, no. Caps, no. He gets like an episode and then some nods. Okay, Jesus. This is still post-processing. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, look, my door's open, has reset. Shame. This is so close to being done, though. All right, looking good. Again, we are going for low poly here. Also, you freaking topology snobs, like, the topology. Like, you would never rig this anyway. It's also just way higher poly than it would need to be if it would just give me a rock wall. And your best bet would just have, like, a texture to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. I can make it worse. Why am I threatening my peasants? I'm sorry. We're gonna call this combo. Do you guys have combos over there? Those little, like, pizza snacks? Sater says, I missed you guys yesterday. We missed you too. Again, Ray must have brought it up at least 3 times just himself, being like, where is Sater? Sato, I wasn't shouting. Now I'm shouting. Aloha says, topology snobs is a crazy call. Yeah, I should watch myself today. Okay. No. Truce. Full truce. White flag. We're good. Right? Shots fired in person. She's not even here. I don't know why I'm so spicy today, guys. I didn't want to share this, but I'm going to share it really quickly and then I'm going to move on. I was this close to not streaming today at all. Just to not feel good. But then I was like, you know what? You don't have to feel at your best to work. Just don't explode. And then sure enough, I'm streaming and I feel fine. I don't know. I feel like sometimes my brain says whatever it can to not do work. But then I love to work. I'm like, okay, you need to pick what you want. Anyway, that's enough on that topic. All right, this is looking very rock. We will do the column and the wall separate. Mia and Ray when Mia brings up the wireframe. It's true. It's true. There's a roast in here somewhere though, because both of you guys are my students, but I'm just gonna allude to it but not say it. All right. My watch is like, time to stand. No, I'm gonna sit. Thanks. All right, rock column. Like food combos? No, they're like little pizza snacks. Well, the pizza flavor one's the only good one. They're like little salt pretzel bombs. They're amazing. Right, so did you really ask for combos here, like food combos? Yeah, like, are we talking about the same thing? I'm talking about the little funny bag of chips. Chip things. Combo. No, combo, food, snack. These things. These things. I don't know how common they are. Like, again, I'm just asking. I didn't ask if you guys have Cheetos. I'm sure you guys know what Cheetos are. I feel like these are a little less common. Yeah. Oh, haha. So you didn't know. There's like they're little hard pretzel shell things filled with cheese and coated in some kind of seasoning. I feel like you were talking down on my combo snacks with that wording. Anyway, rock column. Rock wall. Welcome to America. Yeah, speaking of, so these headphones are also, I don't know if SteelSeries is like located in the EU or what, but these had a built-in like setting that would prevent the volume from maxing out. I had to like plug into a computer and like edit the settings to be like, no, let me deafen myself. What the fuck? That was just so weird to me. Like I've never had a product try to like protect me, and I'm like, no, this is America. Let me deafen myself if I want to. And I don't listen to music that loud even. It was like really quiet actually. All right, rock wall. You know, it's not awe-inspiring, but it really gets the job done. It's gonna look really good printed, and I really care about that. Rock wall with column. Really killing it with the creative names today. All right, what is the mesh error? How bad is it? I went through the effort of dynameshing you. How dare you have issues? Issues. It's okay. These are like super minor. Bam, fixed. Rock wall with columns. Amazing. All right, sweet. This is completely done. Yeah, I need that Expedition 33 music on max. Exactly. I'm like, do not limit me. Okay, I don't talk to people about music very often, so like, do not roast me if this is like a super common band that everybody knows. But anyway, one of my favorite songs to like test new headsets out with is Playing God by Polyphia. If you haven't heard it, please do. I'm gonna put that in the chat because like you have to listen to it. Listen to Playing God by Polyphia. So it's got polyrhythms or poly melodies the whole time. It's so good. It's so good. And you should like look up the band, the guys who play it too, because they look like they're straight out of like, just look them up. Just look them up. They're very stylized. It's the only person I've seen with a throat tattoo, and I'm like, yeah, he was meant to have a throat tattoo. All right, back to Expedition 33. All right, let me upload these models before I forget, and then we'll be set. I guess I'll put some other Patreon releases. Rock wall and column. Since we're talking about Avatar, this is a really cool fan comic of the next Avatar. Oh yeah, I think I was following them on Instagram when they were writing that. Rock wall, column, here we go. Bam, done. My spreadsheet. I used to do this like after the stream, and then I found out I would just forget to do that. So I have to do it the second I finish it. All right, we're up to date. Sweet. That brings us into, missed my button. There we go. Tavern Keeper's Craft. All right. What are we working on today? I honestly don't know. I think it was what I planned for yesterday, but Ricky got some poses finished, and I would love to get some stuff cleaned up. Kind of kick it, kind of have the opposite of a Chaos Monday. Oh yeah, so he did 3 different poses for the Astral Genie. I'm excited to see those. Two-Faced Monster, we already did. Oh, and then apparently the freaking file that I uploaded for the Galaxy was like 1,000,000 poly, so I definitely uploaded the wrong one, or I just totally did it wrong. So we're gonna take a look at that as well. Alora says, Mia, by the way, I have another art thing to suggest for you. The Witcher 4 Unreal Engine tech demo came out an hour ago and showed off a lot of fun art things. No kidding. Also for Ray. Yeah, post it in the Discord. Amazing. Okay, so it features parts of that trailer too. Which, speaking of, the Game Fest Awards or whatever, what it was announced at last year is this weekend. So, I'm really excited for that. Yeah, strong female character alert. Yeah, everybody loves Siri. Let's be real. What am I looking at? Galaxy Emperor. Come hither. Because I don't think you're 1,000,000 polys. I think you're full of lies. There's his head. Here's this. Okay, no, he is like really high poly. Okay. Also, where is your head with your other faces? What the fuck? Okay. We're not panicking. Also, if somebody didn't save, I'm just not in the mood for that right now. Because I did save this. I have a couple of these that are named the same thing, so I might just find it afterwards. That's the perks of uploading these. I also named him a couple different things in different places. What is double A? I need to stop. Oh, it's this. I need to stop doing that. Or I name things just A. Alright. I don't need that. Rockwall I'll keep. And then I have a bunch of different backups of the Tower Pets. I definitely don't need that. They're already uploaded. Oh yeah, the quick sculpts were cute. I'll keep that for later. Oh look. Big boy. I bet you... Yep, there it is. There's the finished one. again, I just put this one in a couple different places. Here we go. This is the post-process one. So I just uploaded the wrong one. Not a big deal. This model is really cool. Empress, hello, hello. Welcome in. Ray says, I'm still pissed about how they massacred the Netflix series by fighting with Henry. I know. I know. Why wouldn't they just listen to him? I don't understand. No, we're not panicking. We're okay. Yeah, there we go. I named things just fine. Oh my lord. I'm not going to share things with you guys anymore. You're going to just make fun of me. No, we know that's not true. I'm still going to talk about it. What did I just download? Oh, never mind. All right. Also, I don't want to hear about bad naming conventions. Do you see how like pristine this is? This is every single model, everything, every render. Like, no. All right, season 1, season 2, looking good. I don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Sweet. And then none of these were supposed to be in here. Just the Fall of Aloha. All right, which one is which? We have Galaxy Emperor and Galaxy Emperor Copy. One of them is way larger file than the other. I believe that is the older one. Yes. Sweet. We're all set. Will I be doing the Taverpet Polish Pass on stream perchance? Absolutely not. I love you guys, but it would take forever to get that done on stream because we just get derailed. We'd be like, I'd like make a little adjustment. You guys would be like, oh my God, that's really cute. What if we did this? What if we did this? And they'd never get done. But it's fun to have the initial creation on stream for sure. Are my headphones MSI? No, they're Steel Series. Yeah, Steel Series. I love the big boy folder. Yeah, you're the only thing in it right now. So sorry, LOFL. This is why we need systems like Life Alert. Oh, goodness. All right, this is the block out that we started yesterday. Pretty happy with her. Sater says, I can't watch it being the Netflix series of The Witcher because it's not like they didn't do the books justice. It's a, oh, this isn't the books at all thing. Like they kept their character names, world, and setting, and that's about it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, it has more similarities and commonalities with the games, or the game. I only played Witcher 3. I read one of the books too, and hot take, they're kind of a mess. Like, I don't know. I think the books get a weird amount of praise. There are so many jumps in the book where I'm like, where the fuck are we? Like, you can't just have a chapter and put a little dot and then have a completely different setting, character, location. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of a mess to read. It was not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. All right. What do I want to work on? That's well put, yeah. Aloha said, yeah, I've heard the books are a bit messy. Sater mentioned, I enjoy the books, but won't recommend them to anyone that isn't a diehard fantasy reader. Absolutely, and even if they are, I'm like, may I interest you in, like, the name of the wind? Sater says, not at all what I was saying, but I do agree about the Witcher books. You mentioned that the show is nothing like the books, which is true. Again, it's a little more similar to the games. I promise. Like a little, like you can see like what they were going for a little bit, but they also completely screwed up Eskel and what's his face, Lambert. Like they like just swapped them. I don't know if they just got their notes wrong or something, but like if you flop them entirely, it's kind of correct. It was some odd decisions there. Empress mentions, as someone didn't read it, I enjoy the show for what it was. I don't know anything about The Witcher. And I think that's like the majority of the audience. It was just kind of hard for people that like really love like that world and stuff. And we're like, why would you do this? Why would you just call it something else? All right. I think I'm just going to detail this. Oh no, I have that model I can post-process. I surprisingly have not read anything from Brandon Sanderson. All right, let's check out all three of these poses, get them all combined, and see what we're working with. We might keep all three, we might not. I like this one. We're keeping this one for sure. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. This might be the action pose. All right, this is the first pose. Let's check out the second. All right, let me hide her little skirt thing so I can see what's going on. This is more on the simple side, but still really strong. I'll call this one the casual. And then last but not least, we'll check out this third. My plan is to keep the two strongest, but if I really like all three, we'll just do all three. Especially because this character will not need much post-processing or cleanup. My favorite. I'm getting better at this. Sater says, my hot take, Brandon Sanderson is good, but overhyped. Interesting. I cannot really comment. Yeah, I think I might keep all three of these. Just because I have this magic effect I'm going to add after the fact, that's going to make this really epic and cool. But then we'd have like action. I already have like a casual action naming convention. So it would be like action 1, action 2. And I don't want that. But then am I always going to limit myself to just 2 poses? I don't know. I like this one a lot. And this one. Yeah, I think this one's probably the one that I will axe. There we go. One of them was axed, though I did like all of them. I hope Ricky saved copies of them so we can use it for another character. Did the base just disappear? That's fine. Right, Mia, have you made any wyverns? Have I made any wyverns? Of course! Of course, of course, of course. I'm sure you went to see them then. Womp. Let's bring up my Google Drive. Let's just type in wyvern and let's just see what we got. Alright, I have a dead one, I have a baby one, and a fossil. Oh, undead. My bad. This one's old. This is from... I made this in 2019. This was my first year of modeling. Be kind. Oh, bam. There he is. That's my undead wyvern. He's very crunchy and very fragile and 3D printed, but this was my pride and joy for like a whole year. Yeah, so yeah, that was in April, or whatever the oldest date is going to be when it was made, obviously. Is that February? Yeah, so February 2019. And my first model ever was August 2018? I don't know, somewhere around there. This is around the time I took Patreon full-time. But yeah, that's my undead boy. And then I just took him and smushed him into some dirt, I think. And then I called that the fossil. There he is, smushed. You can barely see his outline. You really have to dry brush this. And we'll have it painted for you to tell what's going on here. Anyway, more importantly, I do have a baby wyvern that is cute as heck that I'm happy to share with y'all. Check him out. This was obviously a much newer model since it's like very polished and stuff. And my babies have a very distinctive style to them. Yeah, those are my wyverns off the top of my head. The rest of them are technically dragons. And by technically, I mean they are dragons. So yes. All right. Let's work on this character. We're gonna get her post-processed, and I don't think it's gonna take too long. Something roughly like this for the positioning. And then I'll go ahead and set a timer here so I'm focused. But obviously, keep chatting, get my attention. Ray said, oh, okay, thanks for showing. Of course, of course. I'm just busy regarding my life decisions. Satyr, say more. Ray is trying to design a wyvern. They're quite difficult. Honestly, if you want to cut yourself a break, just make it a dragon. Put the wings on the back. The fact that you're trying to do a quad set, you know, or a double set of wings is already really challenging and doesn't really lend itself super well to wyverns, but you can do it. Satyr, also, welcome to adulthood. Adulthood, it gets worse. Wow, aren't you a ray of sunshine? It's true, it gets worse. All right, setting a timer. I should be able to do each pose in 15 minutes. Sweet, there is that base. And then I keep this pretty darn simple. I just look at it, and if there's anything that is slightly out of place, I just go ahead and split it into its own piece. So obviously the skirts need to be moved. I'm gonna split those and hide. And I just kind of keep going through those layers until I get, honestly, this would be a really good pinup model, but anyway, I digress. Let's move this around. And then turn on transparency is a really good way to make sure that this is fitting. So you can rig this so it's going to bend with, you know, the body. I find it just is so much more work. Like, bam, I'm done. And it's going to look a lot more natural and not have any of those ridiculous like clipping issues. But again, that's just a personal preference. What is happening here? Oh, I see. It's like that little hand grabby thing, the gauntlet thing. Kind of just fell on the wrong side. Not a problem. I can just grab my move brush and scoot and squish. Oh, wow. It really didn't want to do that, did it? That's fine. I will just split mouse points. It's really not that important to the design. Does it even need it? Oh yeah, her wrist is all goofed up. Just put it back on. All right, auto groups. Do the auto group thing. There you go. Reaper says, a stormcutter is technically a four-winged wyvern. Why do you say technically? Is it or is it not? When you say technically, I think that there's a trick. And for everyone that's like, what's the difference here? Dragons have 4 legs, 2 wings. Wyverns have 2 legs, 2 wings. There's just a difference of 2 legs between the two of them. That's it. But at the end of the day, like, they're both cool. But yeah, Ray, you definitely picked a very challenging design. I like, the big thing I think is going to save you in that design is the way that you had this like gilded mask going on. That was really cool. You can see that in some of your early sketches, and then that kind of gets abandoned and lost, and the whole head just becomes gold, which could also be cool and strong, but I think it'd be easiest to implement having the 2 different planes, especially because you have like the gold mask that's like on top, and so it's going to help strengthen that plane shift or that plane change that you have. Stop being broken, fingers. Behave. There you go. I would love to have all these like little orbs actually float and be like off of her skin, but that won't print. Satyr says, I missed Ray art. No, he said he wouldn't let me show it. I was specifically banned from showing it on stream because it was, quote, the worst work he has ever done, or like the worst work he has ever done. It's fine. It's definitely not like of Ray normal quality, but it's not an abomination. It's fine. But yeah, I agree. You can do a lot better. And you will. I'm going to help you out. I can definitely see the point in the project too, like as the updates go on and what you gave me that PDF, where I can tell that you were just like totally lost the love for that dragon. You're like, or wyvern, you're like, when is this going to be over? Yeah, I don't think these gauntlets are doing anything for this design. So I'm just going to remove them. She's going to have bubble arms. Bubble arms. Sweet. All right, I think it'd be nice if this had more of a high-low skirt design, but I'm not gonna mess with that until I have all the other pieces in place. Gonna make her foot a little inflated here because that's like gonna be one of the few contact points. There we go. And then any like weird creases like this, I find clean up really nicely with either Trim Dynamic with Option held down or Alt, or just fill it in with the clay brush. It works sometimes. If it's fighting you, just make sure you don't have backface mask turned on. There we go. I really love this character. This one came together quick too. Right, it's horrendous. It's vile. Oh my god. But yeah, no, you are going to do better. It's going to be great. I'm also, you know, more than art, I think the biggest thing you're getting out of my program, Ray, is just learning how to work faster and a little more structured. I thought the first thing you were like, don't I need like weekly goals? I'm like, nope. If you can't fund, this is actually a free tip for everyone to enjoy here. If you're not good with time management and figuring out what you can get done, don't make weekly goals or monthly goals. If you can't even manage your day, don't even worry about setting a monthly goal. Seriously. It's good to know like, oh, I want to sculpt the dragon. Good, that's good enough. But just sit down and each day be like, I'm gonna work for this long and this is what I'm gonna try to get done. And you're gonna be wrong every day for so long. You're gonna get more done than you expected, less done, more or less, and eventually you'll get better at understanding what you're actually capable of getting finished. And that's going to help immensely. Also, when you first start working and like you're actually truly focused, you might notice that you're not able to work for nearly as long. Like it's going to exhaust you. And that's good. It's a sign that you're actually focused and not just kind of like a passenger. Does that make sense? I don't like these as much as I thought I did. I tried to make them swooshy and I swooshed in the wrong direction. Let's try again. Oh my god, this soundtrack has no business being so good. As far as like story update for Expedition 33, again, this is no spoilers, this is super vague. I just defeated the guy that was mad at me for picking flowers. And now I'm moving on to a village full of funny little dudes. There you go. That is super vague. Nobody would, even if you're playing the game, you'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's where I'm at right now. I spent a lot of time in that underwater like coral place, and honestly, I still feel like I could have spent more time there. I've never been so paranoid about rushing a game in my life. I just want to like soak it up. That's how I felt playing Okami. God, I said that wrong like once, and like, that's a different story for a different time. But anyway, I adore that game. I kind of felt the same way where I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be over. Even though I'm like just at the beginning of the game, I'm already getting that feeling of like, I don't want this to end. This is a really easy character to kind of get lost in all these fabric folds and stuff. I recommend, I mean, it depends what you're creating it for. If it's like a portfolio piece or something that's going to be like I don't know, it's a hobby and you want it to be as perfect as possible, take all the time you want. But if it's more of like a business and you make lots and lots of models, I don't feel like you have to make every fabric swoosh in this special magical way. Like you can just, I did a lot of the work here already. I don't have to keep shaping it to min-max it. Does that make sense? For those who come after. Yeah. I just know, like, oh man, like every time I know it's going to come up towards the end of the game. I already know. And I'm just so paranoid about what's going to happen. Potentially the last time that gets said. Nope. I can't even talk about it right now. Okay. Mia missed my nice comment. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm scrolling. Aloha. Mia, I think one underrated improvement you made from when I started watching is the quality of blockouts is a shorter and shorter time frame, squeezing such life and character from limited polys. Oh, thank you. I really agree. And then right under that is right. It's horrendous. It's vile. Not talking about me. Just that's really funny. Ray is a secret slacker. A little bit. Right. Damn, make me sound like I don't do much work. Hey, we just started together. I can just tell that you might spend a lot of time but may not get a whole lot done. Which, to be clear, it's very difficult. Yeah, Ray having a breakdown in between the comment. I know, I was like, oh shit, I need to go attend to Ray. Ew, Empress says, I kind of like the kids who chew their food, then bring it back after chew it again because it's so good. Empress hangs out here a lot. I know Empress. Who just said that? Because it was not my Empress. Oh my lord. Now I'm yelling. Anyway. All right, this little swooshy thing, totally unnecessary to design. That is not any more interesting than that. Maybe it is. Just kidding. I changed my mind immediately. And like, that's kind of a huge part of it too, of like when you're designing stuff. Just make sure it's all intentional and has like a point. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, that might be kind of extraneous. So I say that and I kind of like think of it in my head and I kind of build an argument for like either side. Does that make sense? It's just like a war zone in my head when I make art. That's all. Yep. Nope. This does add more. More is more. I'm going to go ahead and swoop it down though, because I don't want it to be too fragile. And this still looks just as elegant, which is the whole purpose of this, is I'm kind of making this like guiding curved line. It does need some help on the fabric fold front. What is going on here? That's better. Where are my polys? There we go. I was like, why are you hollow? Oh my goodness. What is that? Oh, because I duplicated this and I found out I had bad topology after the fact. So I dynamesh it, it will explode. Watch this. See? Fuck. Okay, in that case, nope. Nope. That was a mistake and that's okay. And we are not fixing it right now. Anyway, she looks great. This is done. And I have 3 minutes left. So that got cleaned up in 15 minutes. I love to see it. All right, let's see if I can flatten this up just a touch. Hey, Roxy's here. Hello. At least she went back to read your comment. She missed my explanation of Stormcutter. Oh my goodness, peasants. I'm gonna scroll up, and if I don't see an M3DM tag, then I'm gonna give you a hard time. Because of course I didn't see it then. You did not tag me. That I'm not held liable. Sorry, Reaper. Future me a problem. Also, was it just for me? I feel like everybody, I'm sure, very much so appreciated your explanation. I hope. All right, are you gonna be like dumb topology? Or are you gonna be cool? See, that's not cool. That's what I'm talking about. That's really annoying. Okay, let me fix that because I have many tricks. We're gonna mask, make this little like ugly wall thing. Don't worry, it's all gonna come together. And then I will cut that off at the very end, which I think is just gonna be now. Wow, her hair looks really good. I'd love to. I want this to be a character of mine now. Like that I play, obviously it's a character of mine. All right, mesh looks good. Let's go ahead and remesh by union. So anything that is an intersecting layer will now be merged into one, nice and simple. Ooh, exposed Reaper didn't even tag me. I was shaking my head. Pink says happy headache day. Is it just, it's not just me. I'm trying to drink a bunch of water and I'm like, ouch. Reaper just threw some shade my way and I'm not going to read it because I'm not tagged. And Alo says, tagging me, Mia. How come you cut the bottom of the model? When you press the model into the base, would the mesh inside the other mesh create printing problems? It depends who you ask. If you ask me, no, and I have a bajillion prints to prove it. But no, seriously. I do like it nice and flat, and I cut the bottoms off because a lot of people will print just the mini itself with no base entirely. So that is why. I don't know why I was like all amped up to like give like a huge explanation for that, and I'm like, oh, I guess there's not a whole lot to have to explain. Just kidding. That was it. Okay, I do have some hair wispies that are just like hanging out, and they're not worth it. Come here. Again, I don't mind there being fragile elements on a print, but they have to be worth it. And these are cool, but I might as well have them touch in the back. All right, this curve is a little screwed up. There we go. And now it is not screwed up. Beautiful. Remesh by union. Reaper says, wow. Hey, I did read your comment though. I just did. Okay. Me immediately feeling bad. Oh my goodness. All right, 200,000 points. See, now Reaper's crying. It's a bed. Oh, I was just... No, it wasn't like actually that bad of shade. I was just giving her a hard time for not tagging me. Because she made fun of me with a very valid point. Empress, yes, touch in the back. All right, and then we'll flatten this. Smash. This model is gorgeous. My goodness. This is the soundtrack for that stupid mime. My goodness. You know, the mimes are not even that hard in Expedition 33 necessarily. They stress me out. Oh, Aloha, I did defeat that stupid chromatic trumpet dude that kept trumpeting me to death. I got it. And it's funny because like I pretty much just like I got a little bowl full of chips, and well, because I tried to fight him once and he destroyed me again last night, and I'm like, okay, fuck it. I went, grabbed a little bowl of chips, sat there, and I was like, I'm gonna do this all night until I defeat this. And I got it in the second shot. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't have to be that serious about it. I don't think I could do it again if I tried. Empress says, model gorgeous, artist gorgeous, community gorgeous. I hate you all. Good combo, I like it. Also, you're part of all of that, so yes. All right, I've spent 4 minutes where I was supposed to be working on the other model, still on this one. So I shouldn't do that. Oh, I didn't do this magic swirly effect thing either. We'll see if I end up doing it or not. All right, same kind of protocol. I just find the thing that's the most goofed up, and then I split it into its own subtool and move it into place. Swoop. This one especially should be pretty easy. These little gauntlets did nothing for this character. Be gone. I'm not afraid of sculpting wrists and elbows anymore, so. The fingers got a little screwed up. Nothing that a little standard brush can't fix. Remember, standard brush is always the answer. I feel like some like really dramatic long nails would be nice. I just not gonna do them. There we go. And this is the same hairstyle as the other character because they're the same. So I'll need to fix the same thing on it. Saying it out loud before I forget. There we go. Gorgeous. So, Aloha, now that you're finished with Expedition 33, what are you going to play next? Or are you just going to, like, cry? That's probably what I'm going to do. That question actually goes to everyone. If you're not playing Expedition 33 yet, why not? And if you're playing something else, what is it? Oh, I do want to start playing Night Rain, too. But, like, I know it's... You need to be able to play with other people, and I am so awful at that game. I feel like I need to play Elden Ring more first, so I don't just... Again, it's not so much about embarrassing myself, it's more about... I can't stand being the reason why a team isn't doing well. So... Yoni Wilds. Yeah, Wilds is awesome. I haven't done the Raydao event yet. I don't even know if it's still up. I don't really like doing the free choice events. I like when they give you terrible equipment and make you suffer. Otherwise, I don't know. I just feel like people min-max it, which I understand why. That's the whole point. And you have to run all the way across the map. I don't know. It just feels like a normal hunt at that point. I do want the pendant, though. Hello, says Mia. When you finish the game, can you please learn some piano for us? I mean, I already know. I mean, like, learn the songs? Yeah, no, I'm absolutely going to. 100%. I already have the... Well, I don't have it printed out yet, but I have all the files. Reaper says, are you kidding? We'd have to pay for her to play. Oh, like on stream? Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe I'll upload some clips to Discord, but... Like a little performance for y'all? I feel like the mic would just explode. I don't know if I have the setup for that. But I have, like, played and performed before, so that is not outside my wheelhouse. I used to play at, okay, this is like a fancy performance, but I used to volunteer at the old folks' home next to me. I'd walk down because I lived in the adjacent neighborhood, and I played piano there. Why are old people so touchy? Fucking hate being touched. And they like sit on the bench with me, and they'd just like sit with me. And it was cute, but like, it just, cactus. Anyway, it was really fun though. I like performing for them. They're really chill. Hello, says Mia, I go from one game at a time and 100% them. So next is Night Rain. Oh, okay, cool, cool. And that's right, you're still working on 100%ing Expedition. Foxy says, too many other things going on. Also, lack of funds, because we need to be responsible. That's a super solid answer too. Good on you for being responsible. But if you're not going to be responsible, highly recommend Expedition 33. Reaper says, responsibility sucks the fun out of everything. You're right. So what has responsibility brought to you recently that makes it worth it? That could be a very chaotic train of thought. Sater says, I always try to 100% games, but have only ever managed it twice. That's super interesting to me that you and Aloha like to do that, because y'all are in the minority for sure on that. I mean, Aloha actually, that makes sense, because like, Sater, you have like a kid and like job. No, you're going to school right now. Oh, I meant to ask. I don't know if you want to talk about it on stream, but I hope your funding nonsense went through, because I know school is stupid. I mean, stay in school, kids, but school is stupid. And I know the funding can be really stressful and stuff for financial aid. Oh, I never sent you that key for ZBrush Core. I totally forgot. Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. I meant my offer. Like, it's yours. At some point, you'll upgrade to the full version of ZBrush or find it conveniently online, I'm sure. But in the meantime, you could always own this copy. Raid event is over, and the SF Street Fighter collab is still going. Yeah, I don't care about Street Fighter, so. Doesn't mean it's not cool, though. Oh, I didn't get the scarf yet. I hope that's still going. Why is this like shredding the mesh? Stop it. Look at this. When I move it, it's like ugly. I'm going to reset all brushes and see if it still happens. Nope, it doesn't. So there's something on my brush that I didn't know I put on there. It's okay. I got it off. Oh, speaking of getting, yeah, the crowns are around for the foreseeable future, guys. I have absolutely no control to get rid of them. Mentioned to YouTube, I'm like, it says I can disable it. It's like, no, you can only disable it for you. I was like me singular. I'm like, well, I'm not chatting in my own stream. That's useless. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to make it better, but as of now, it doesn't work at all. Yes, anime scarf. I must have it. Reaper says, responsibility, post art, be social, make money, fail to make money, cry yourself to sleep. Yeah, it's a relatable experience. I think that's, I mean, minus the art necessarily, but I think that's being in your 20s. Aloha says, Mia, when you do eventually roll credits on Expedition 33, we should do a collab model thingy. Hell yeah. Aloha, I know you don't like sell stuff necessarily, but like, we never really talked about that before. Like, well, I know you want to go into like art and industry and stuff, but you don't shill your stuff like ever. I don't know if you have any stuff for sale even, but like if you do, like, shill. Like, or I'll do it for you. I don't care. All right, her feet are super tiny, so I'm gonna inflate them a touch here. Oh, that's too much, just a little bit. All right, that looks good. And then one of these feet got a little scrunchy, so we're gonna fix that. Because there's no reason for this foot to not just be normal and flat. Please be normal. Why are you so broken? There we go. That's what a foot looks like. I think. I don't know, feet are weird. I'm gonna turn off perspective and just kind of scoot these around because they're not close. Whoop. We're getting there. And same with this skirt. We're kind of in this final stages of cleaning up this pose right now. Very nice. I haven't even looked at the trophies for Expedition 33 and what 100%ing it would look like. I have never 100% a game. Not that I can remember anyway, which means there's probably no way I did. I just thought it'd be fun though. has to do with like, oh, you know, play the game on like the hardest difficulty. And I'm like, well, I'm out. There's no way it's going to happen. Ella says, I'm thinking a lot about some early ideas for selling them, but I'm happy to take my time. Yeah, let me market you for once, Aloha. Plus, I get overwhelmed easily, so one thing at a time. Yeah, it's good to know that about yourself. Let me make you guys market, and that makes me happy. Yeah, of course, of course. I just want to be super rich and famous one day so I can like scoop all you guys up and like actually pay my mods, but that will probably never happen to that extent because I have like a business that actually can support employees. Damn, that math is not cute math. I did it the other day and I was like, that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. Never say never. I'm still going to work towards it. No problem with having goals, even if you're like, well, this might never happen. That's the trick. You just have many goals. You're going to reach something. All right, I did not get both poses done in 30 minutes, but that was pretty ambitious and I got close, which makes me very happy. There we go. All right, now it's just about flattening this lower section here. Wow, that's not what I wanted. Other brush, there we go. All right, let's merge all this down. Boop. Make sure the tabard's touching the ground, because again, no reason to not. And then scoot. Ella says, Mia, I'm a long-time achievement hunter for the games I play. It's a surprisingly strong community. But, Mia, please don't look at the trophy list. They have spoilers in them 99% of the time. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Boxy says, Mia, you don't need to do it because it would eat into your own potential income, but Pirate Software has any money donations during a stream go to paying his mods. I think Pirate Software is the only streamer who actually pays his mods. That makes sense. And I know I've never watched his streams. I have no idea what they're even about, but I need to look into them because I know Sater mentions them all the time too. I also imagine that community is a lot more work to moderate because it's such a huge community too. Not that the peasants here aren't plenty of work. but they're not. You guys are super chill. This is not that playlist. Yep. I'm like, what is yelling in my ear? Nope. Back. A majority of big streamers pay their mods as it's a lot more job to babysit the amount of people. I believe it. Ray says, you're saying you mods don't have enough work. Oh, okay. A lot of the stuff they take on is very optional. Foxy, yeah, that sounds like an invitation to misbehave. No. We had plenty of that yesterday. But also, like, in a good way. Alright, I didn't see that her hair is so close right here. I got some weird mesh stuff going on here. What is this? Let's just undo and see what happened. Oh, there's a plane that's just like sitting in here. What? Where did you come from? What? I'm trying to select it. What is this? Alright, I think that's a remnant from that little cape that I had that had various topology issues, so I deleted it. Alright, we're all good. Alright. Everything looks good. Remesh by union. Ella says, hey, I helps. Oh no, a ton! No. That was never up for debate. You guys do a ton and you're fantastic. I'm saying that our chat is very manageable. So yes. I was going to say, that is not up for debate. All of you guys have been great. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Although, I do the things sometimes. No, why are we sad? Why are we sad? Reaper, you do great things sometimes. Positive, but weird. But yes. I think you're mostly giving me a hard time. But just in case you meant that at all, I had to be serious. Not that you guys ever give me a hard time. Foxy says, Mia, I'm creating a D&D character and I have one more point to spend. Should I increase Int to 13 or Wisdom to 11? Well, it depends what kind of character that you built. If your Wiz is at a 10, that's kind of low. What's the math that will like change what your modifier is? Whatever one gets you the next modifier, if you're on the threshold of either one of those, I always go for that. Elo says, you should put that extra point into becoming a wolf. Inner wolf. Okay, good. This sounds like Elo's recovered. That isn't an option. Oh no, more sad face. Stop. Hey, at least it's not about me this time. Yeah, what is the character? Tell us more. Satyr. She's a pretend D&Der. My Roll20 account with over 100 hours, that's it. Would beg to differ. Foxy says, me, I won't get a modifier increase. I can't increase anything by that much. It'll be an odd score. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Neep, neep. Aloha says, Mia, can you get an update on your D&D game coming up? We don't even know your character or anything. Oh, yeah, I would love to not work and talk about that instead. Let me get this done really quick. Like, that sounded really dry, but I'm serious. Let me get this done really quick, and then I'll show you guys. Crazy enough, I'm playing as a construct race. Like, I've never done that before, and I've specifically mentioned I don't have a lot of interest in constructs. I do now, though. I totally get the appeal. All right, this would be nice if her hand actually touched her body, but I don't know how to do this without meep, mop. Okay, that was not nearly as hard as I thought. Wow, that worked really well. Cool. All right, we have these two poses. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's make sure that they're the same height. This one's a little bit shorter, but I think the other one's on tiptoes. Yes. All right, let's go ahead and pin the base and then load in my ending ZTL. Hey, it's Monkey. Hello, hello. Foxy says, Mia, my character is a very chaotic elven warlock, archfey patron, pact of the tome. Ah. What's an which archfey patron? Because it sounds like, I don't know, almost more cleric-y. Because isn't the only real difference between a cleric and a warlock is like the flavor, let's be real. Damn, check the abs, right? Where is the entire base? Why is it just like this tiny little speck? There it is. All right, we're gonna merge these down. And then bring them into this ending project. There we go. I'm so happy with how quickly this character came together. This looks really nice. Excellent. All right, now let's fit this to the base. I haven't merged on the crystals yet in case I need to move them out of the way, because there's a lot. This base is actually from that two-headed gem dragon board we made a long time ago, if you guys remember that. We don't need nearly as many of these, though. Okay, don't take them all away. How about like that, and then rotate? Where is Ricky? We need to give him compliments for the Kickstarter and new graphics. I know, it's been very Ricky-less. Monkey says, I heard you have over 100 hours from Roll20. Yeah, though a lot of my games were played in person. Which isn't shit, I realized. I thought it was so funny. Like, I was looking at my DM. She has like almost like 2,000 hours. I was like, that's awesome. Alrighty, let me select just the dirt here, and I can kind of scoot it around so that way it connects everywhere that it should. No problems. Still keeping it mostly flat, so if someone prints this separate, they can kind of smush it on here. Alright, is your foot touching? Yes. What about the other foot? Yes. Nope. See, I knew something wouldn't be where it's supposed to. Aha. Sweet. Ricky isn't turning up because Mia was so mean to him yesterday. Oh my goodness. For anyone new here, Ricky is my husband, and no, I'm not mean to him. Oh my gosh. Don't listen to them. Full of lies. Alright, tool, export, I have my base. And then one of these is complete. We'll call this the casual. All right, she's a little more forward, so it'll be a little trickier to kind of tuck this amongst the crystals, but still doable. Ray says, man, that was a lie. You said the rock was cuter than Ricky. It was an exceptionally cute rock. You guys were there. All right. This other base, I think we're just gonna go with just straight up no crystals. They're just in the way. But what I'll do, if I can keep some of them, which is ideal, I'll just take these, throw them off to the side, and just make a little custom version for this one. So I can still have my cake and eat it too. All right, how far is that hand hanging off the base? Because I'd like for it to be, okay, it's very, very minimal. I could make it even better by scooting it back, but then it looks weird. So this is a happy balance right here. All right, last step is just making sure that all of this fits to the character. So I'll have two different bases here, which that happens somewhat frequently, honestly. Moving back face mask is a really powerful, easy tool to use here. You just kind of click and drag. Sweet. Almost done. I can tell you guys about my character. Oh, and a reminder, if anyone is looking for a D&D group to play in, we do have a lot of DMs and people that are looking for TTRPG groups in our Discord. So just in case you're like, I want to play, you should. It's free. All right, and then we'll call this A and double A because I don't learn. No, just kidding. It's literally about to get renamed right now. This character turned out so beautiful. All right, import. Perfect. No meshers, just what I like to see. All right, and we're calling this an Astral genie, but I'm gonna spell it normal. No, the other one's such a fun spelling. I do that instead. I'm sure there is a difference between the two, but I'm not aware of what it is. So no, just pick the fun spelling. This pose reminds me of a pose I did on a character like a long time ago. One of my first I ever did. This is a much better version of it. Makes me happy. Sweet, that is all complete. Let me get that uploaded. And I can show you guys my new D&D character that I'm going to start playing with this weekend. I haven't finished building the character entirely yet, but I can tell you guys the general plot. Sweet, those are uploading. That's all done. All right. Paint says, Mia, this is a weird question. I haven't been able to get on my computer because of back pain. Is there a way to practice 3D modeling concepts without using ZBrush? Oh, that's very interesting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even just like a paper and pen, I mean, that requires you to stand still or something. I would literally just look at things and then just construct them into like their simplest primitives. I did this all the time with very complicated shapes. Specifically, wolves. Wolves were kind of the bane of my existence for a while because they're just goofy. So like you can challenge yourself by looking at things. Nope, don't do that. I'm trying to screenshot you. Here we go. Looking at things, even just like head on. And you don't have to use a pen and paper for this. You can just do it even like in your head. But like when I'm just sitting, like if I'm waiting for something, I have no idea what I'm in line for, maybe the grocery store, I'll just like look around and look for the most complicated shape I can find and then like draw what those volumes would be in my head underneath it. So like what are the volumes here? I'm like, well, okay, I know this head is a sphere and it's actually much more circular than I thought. So bam, learned something there. And then next is how to attack this snout. So I know there's a primary shape. I'll go with a different color. Oh. There's a primary shape here, and this snout is just a cylinder. It's trying to, there we go. It's just a cylinder. And then if you want to kind of upgrade your understanding of it, you can kind of start to look at where these tapers are. Wow, I really hate this program. Where these tapers are and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, I broke it down to 2 shapes here. And if you really want to like push your understanding and stuff, that's when you can start trying to figure out where like those plane changes are. I talk about this a lot. And that's how you get kind of like this low poly looking art. There's a plane change. There's one. The ridge of the eye. This brow connects, it looks like, through here. This is obviously, it's a very difficult angle that I chose, and I did that on purpose. But anyway, and then you do the same thing for this outside ring too, just looking at where all the plane changes are. So yeah, you can kind of study different volumes and then also plane changes. And that requires no drawing, just stare at stuff and think about it in your head. Start with simple things like a coffee cup. Because even just establishing that handle, like that C-curve shape, and think about how you'd approach that in ZBrush. Good question. Foxy says, I dare you tell a wolf they look goofy to their face. I'm pretty confident their understanding to English is 0, so. Reaper says, let's see, they kind of start as ideas in my head. Sometimes they always, oh, this is a continuing thing. I'll make sure. But anyway, they kind of start as ideas in my head. Sometimes I already have a world in mind, though they doesn't always mean some characters won't be distributed if another story suits them better. Yeah, I love that because it's just about being flexible with your own design. And that's Maybelline's asking, so if all so all of you that are making up characters, this is the answer. Do you make up and write a story for them that tells their story to the point creation? What makes them, how they became who they are? And yeah, I agree with Reaper's answer there, which is pretty much, it's flexible. Like I'll have something in mind, but if something fits it better, then I'll just swap. Ooh, lunch is ready. Thank God. I'm super hungry. Speaking of, though, let me really quickly show you guys what this D&D character that I'm making is, because it mentions a construct, and I don't want to tease you guys and just leave. Okay. So we are playing based on the Eldritch Hunter Guild, which was from, bam, like, that's on the wrong screen. Here we go. So I picked a tamer. I'm gonna be a mannequin. It's the race tamer, being the class. These are both not like standard D&D, but it's built within that same system. And this is the character that I chose. So essentially, it's like a monster hunter-like, and we are going to be hunting things, and you have to have a motivation for why you want to be in this Eldritch Hunters Guild. I'm like, why would you be a monster hunter? Essentially, I picked the background of Custodian as well, which is actually a subrace. But anyway, I imagine that she's a mannequin, so she's created to maintain this beautiful mansion, and eventually all the royals in this mansion died. And instead of just becoming completely aimless, and she just stood there for like a millennia essentially, until the mansion slowly became overrun and overgrown with these little critters and little dudes. And I started taking care of them. And that's why I'm also a tamer. And then why I'm like a monster hunter, that's because quite literally the ecosystem, my little dude's being threatened. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clean up. But yeah, her name is Rayla. And I think I might change her name to be a last name, because they wouldn't bother actually naming her. She's just, you know, a construct, pretty much like a maid or a butler. But yes. Oh yeah, and this game has like a madness system involved in it and everything. Like, I am so freaking excited for this. It's gonna be awesome. I have not picked my familiar yet, but I get to have a bunch of little dudes, and like this right here, just a mushroom with a giant knife. Like, I'm so excited. Okay, it is time for lunch. I'll see you guys in a little bit, and thank you. This has been super fun. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, I am back. Lunch was absolutely fantastic. I had this really yummy chicken thigh bake that I had done. I did like a bunch of it the other night. And so Ricky reheated that with some fresh green beans and lemon. It was so good. All right, we're going to go straight into happy hour right now. And that means that we're reviewing students, all that kind of good stuff. I see Paint says, I just finished the thing that you said. That is great. I'll work on that. Okay, I'm so glad. And they were asking because they can't work at a computer right now because of back pain. So like, how else can they improve 3D modeling? So I mentioned just visualizing shapes, taking something and breaking down to its primitives is a full brain workout as it is. So yeah, it is student time. Alrighty, I see I got 2 messages here. First off from Empress. Oh, cute. Empress says, here's an update. I added a plane. I don't know how to make bases yet, unfortunately, to help ground it a bit. Then I think I need to practice on making leaves, but otherwise we've got eyes and blushies. Amazing. The front root almost looks like an elephant-style trunk on accident, so no mouth needed, I guess. I was thinking the same thing. If you want that, great. I do think I need to bend it downwards a bit to find some form, not to have it sticking straight out. Anyhow, that's all before I send you a novel. Novels are okay. Alrighty. This is super cute. I mean, you have a lot of really great forms happening here. None of my Tower pets even have a mouth, so a mouth is optional. If they have a beak, obviously I have to put that, for example. I didn't check if Empress was here. Empress, if you're here, let me know. If not, I'll send you a little timestamp. It was at 2:15. Bam, just in case. All right. Yeah, what can we do to make this even better? I mean, honestly, just keep on going. It's so cute. I think you have a lot of really strong things happening here. It's tricky because usually it's like a 1-to-1 ratio of like the head to everything else, right? I would say the body to the roots. I'm trying to think like if we're pushing it enough to where it's like tiny roots or really big roots. I usually go either or, being exaggerating for chibis, but this is really cute. I guess I would look at the silhouette here, and you can tell it's a little hard to read from the front. But this curl right here is super cute, and I love that leaf you put on there was great. I'd make the leaf a little bit smaller, but it's more so personal preference to make things exaggerated. You could experiment with trying to push around this, what is this called? Root a little bit to maybe make it a little more readable from the front. And usually these roots will not connect quite this high, but it depends on how old the tree was, then it absolutely could. Honestly, my advice to you is just to keep on going. This is very cute. I see you're working without perspective turned on, I think, based on how flat this is. No, there's perspective on here. So I would click the letter P on your keyboard, P for perspective, and just toggle it on and off, and you start getting comfortable with that and playing with how that affects your model. And that's gonna be a nice little tool you can use to see like if you want to be flat or not. And as far as making bases go, since we're talking about it, let me show you how to make a base. Because that's the only thing on here I think that you said that you did not know how to do. And I definitely know you can do it. Alrighty, so step 1, append a cylinder. Alright, now that you have the cylinder here, you can just kind of crush it down. And then last but not least, you go to your Gizmo 3 deformers, go to taper, you kind of throw at the bottom here, and then tuck in the top. And that's pretty much how I make my bases. I made one and took a really long time making it just perfect into the proportions that I want. But as you can tell, it looks quite similar. I also like to have like a section that is the actual like hard surface, and then I'll duplicate it, move it up, make it a touch smaller in Dynamesh to create the actual texture that's on top. But there you go. This is a really quick demo of how to do a base. All right, next up is Max, and I'm pretty sure I have not seen them in this stream yet today, so I'll give them a little timestamp as well. Empress says, oop, just returned to capture the end of that. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to share that. All right, Max says, I'm not totally happy with this, so I'm gonna work on a bit more, but here's my base mesh with assets. I'm not keen on the bag or the shoes, and I'm not really sure how to improve. I'm gonna continue playing around with it, but assume this is my submission if you don't hear from me before happy hour. I'm debating on switching out the bag for a belt with pouches, but unsure how to do that, or if it would work with the character. Okay, so lots of unsureness, that's where I come in. You could do bags, you could do belts, you could do pouches, you could do a combination of all three. So that's not a concern. Now, as far as how you did approach, okay, first of all, you're doing great here. Honestly, this is a great start. I love the hat. And then this base mesh, I'm glad that you worked on it more because it does look better. I'm also happy to see that none of your assets are skin tight. What I mean by that is you're already kind of playing with volumes and form and silhouette, which is amazing. Again, this is your first project, so there's a lot of really, really good stuff happening here. Now, as far as the belt and the bag, I see you took a ring and you smushed it to the body, which makes me smile because it's kind of like, it's what we all do. Every single new artist or new 3D artist, when they make a bag or a belt, they take a ring and they smush it. And it makes me smile because you're never going to do that again. Let me show you how to do this. I'm actually just going to open up you know what? Let me find a older ZPR I can just grab just for some visual interest and fun. Let's grab this crazy character. Just this. Oh, she's not posed. I'm going to grab something that is unposed and I can show you how to make a bag. Bear with me here as I open up this next file. Sweet. Thank you for your patience. All right, so we have this character and we want to create a bag. It looks like you have this like side satchel going on and then some sort of container to hold goodies. That is honestly fine. The cylinder is fine. Just throw that on there. That will also work like a quiver, for example. So quiver full of arrows. This technique though needs to change and I'll show you how. All right, first thing first, you're going to want to select the base mesh itself. So here is that body. And you do not want subdivision levels. If you do have them, but you don't want to lose them, all you have to do is duplicate the body and then just delete subdiv on that one. If you don't know what subdivision levels are, don't worry about that. All right, the next step is bringing up the Curve Strap Snap brush. Curve brushes we touched on briefly, Max, in one of the assignments that you did, but now we get to use it. The Curve Strap Snap brush is somewhere towards the top right here. Right here. I use it so often I have it pinned to my custom UI. All right, click on X to turn off symmetry. And then when you click and drag, it's gonna look something kind of like this. Obviously not quite what you want. So a way to make this work faster for you is just to click, drag off your character. I have not lifted up my pen yet. And now click and hold down Shift. Bam, I have not let anything go yet. So you can kind of see this preview that it's giving you here. See, now it's not going all the way around anymore because I moved it around and now it's back. You want to make sure you have like this 2 layers. Anyway, let's do that again. But there you go. That's going to give you a nice starting point. It will already mask it as well. So let's go ahead and go split mask points. There we go. And now that you have this shape, bring up W for the 3D gizmo and stretch this around. This is going to give you a much, much better result. I have even more tips and tricks to make this even better, but I don't think I've shown you the 3D Z modeler brush yet, and I don't want to overwhelm you. So for now, just use your gizmo and your move brush, and bam, you are in business. You're going to have a much, much better result there. You can then subdivide this a bunch of times and maybe even add your own manual, like little stitching details or that kind of thing. And as far as for the bag itself, I recommend going with a more deconstructed approach. So think about how a bag actually works, right? So you have a little cube, and that's not a bag, right? A bag is, well, it's a little thinner. Okay. And what else does this backpack have? Well, I want to have a flap. Okay. Hold down Command Shift D. You'll duplicate this piece. W for 3D gizmo. You just open this up. And there we go. Now we kind of got this top flap right here. And you can grab your move brush and start moving this shape around and divide the bottom, divide the top. There you go. You already have a much more interesting shape that you can play with a lot. And you can use your standard brush to even just kind of throw on some light little stitching detail, something nice and not too heavy from the beginning. I don't want you getting too lost in the assets in the beginning because it's your first project and there's a lot to get lost in and confused in as it is. So just try to be kind to yourself because you really have a cool thing started here, truly. Very good. Very good. Alrighty. Anything else? Anyone have questions in the chat or any other students who are lurking around? Feel free to send me stuff now, and I'll be happy to show you how to do it. Monkey has over 10,000 hours in Roll20. Oh my god. But that makes sense. You do a lot of work there too. That's still incredible. I'm also going to double check my very super secret mod chat to make sure there's nothing important right there. It's all good stuff. Oh, that's smart. 15 for Tavern Pets. Okay, I can do that. I'm gonna think about all those things. Good points. All good points. Excellent. Oh, Empress, I'm gonna circle back to you for a second here because I was feeling like mentally, creatively stuck on when I was giving you your review a little bit. And the moment has passed and now I can think again. I love what you have right here. And I can tell that you're being really, really careful with your design. So I want to show this to you. Okay, what's what I mean by being careful? So I can tell that, like, I know you're being careful because all the lines look really nice. So you have this main form here, right? And then you have some little swirly doos, right? I bet you that you have not played with these enough. I would save your ZPR, save a copy of it, and call this your trash ZPR. And your whole job is to come in here and just play with shapes. Be like, what if this was this big? And then what if this was this small? Or what if this was this tall? And I'm tricking you here by making you save a copy because eventually you'll work this into your normal workflow. But you're going to save a copy and literally just go with the mindset of like you're going to destroy your sculpt in the name of discovery and progress. And that's going to really help you not mumble with your shapes and your forms and loosen up a little bit. Because I was realizing, like, wait a minute, you're a baby artist. These shapes are too clean. You're taking too long on this. Experiment more. You have to make a ton of wrong answers to find that right choice. And if that wasn't true, then I wouldn't have an asset library if I was good at just visualizing it, right? But I'm not. So that's why I have an asset library. I can throw things on there and just see what's actually going to look like. The other day let me go show you something. When I was working on the Tavern Pets for season 2, specifically the rock, Aloha, who has a fantastic eye, was like, oh, I love this little guy. How about you give him little rock ears? And so I did. Look like this. And we both just hated it. And that's what I'm talking about. We're both like skilled artists, and yet neither one of us could predict how much we would hate ears on this little guy. So my point being, you have to just try it. You have to just do it. And if you're going to be freaked out by it, that's fine. Just save a duplicate ZPR and then call that your trash ZPR and just go nuts. Oh, so far, here. Hi, welcome in. Nothing like me at doing something super quick and simple to make me feel like my brain had a massive 4-4 error. Oh my god. You're doing great. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Question about the roots. How would I go about that? Just mask? I would just take the move brush and just like take it at a somewhat high Z intensity, maybe around 60. Go with a large brush. Look how big the brush is versus this ear. And like that's how I would squish around the roots personally. And it's like, oh my god, but that topology. I'm like, I know, but we're just experimenting here. If you really want to be more, that's kind of cute. If you really want to be more careful, you could start messing with a curve brush. That's an option too. Move Topological could be your best friend. Oh yes, if you don't have them in separate subtools, use Move Topological. Thank you, Aloha. Yoni says, time to show up for thyself. Do it. I believe in you. Empress says, I have not. Really scared. Mess around with it. You're gonna have fun, I promise. Sater says, if I say I could have predicted it, does that come across as arrogant? Why would you put ears on it? That would look terrible. So obvious. Beautiful. And yes, that's part of your charm. It looks like a card game deck box. Oh, that little bag I made? Yeah, it totally does. And then Aloha says, if you press Shift F to see the wireframe, Shift F, I'm gonna do it right here. You'll see this is the wireframe. And the roots are different colors. The move topological will treat each color as its own thing. And conversely, let's say if you duplicate the same thing a bunch of times, oh, that's too many times for this demo. There we go. If they're all the same color, and yet move topological will still work. So if you're thinking like, wait a minute, they're not different colors, but I feel like they should be, I recommend getting this button on your custom UI, which is under Tool, Polygroups, Auto Groups. See? And they all change colors. Because sometimes they will end up being the same polygroup color-wise. But the reality is you can go through and separate them. But by default, if they're all the same color, then it's not going to work. Ultimately, what Aloha said is, Aloha is completely correct. I'm just expanding your brain a little bit, Empress. Yes, auto groups is a mesh if needed. Exactly, exactly. Sailor says, inserts Gen Z hand under chin cutesy blush gesture thing. Is that this? Beautiful. All right, well, today we have made that rock wall, rock column, got them post-processed. We opened up the Astral Genie, got evaluated 3 different poses, picked 2 of them. Oh yeah, and then say this what you missed yesterday, just in case, like it's Ricky and me and the horse. But anyway, getting derailed. Got those up 3D print ready as well. And then a little bit of organization, some nonsense with the Galaxy Emperor, and then student review. I believe that's everything. I know it's only been a 2.5 hour stream, but I think I am going to call it here, unless you guys have any additional questions. So, and I wanted to save this towards the end of the stream because it's just totally normal. I am like super in a funk today. I went to bed not feeling very well, woke up not feeling very well, but I don't have like a cold. I'm just funky. And that's fine. And the answer isn't like, okay, I'm going to put my head down and do like a full stream. It's like, I'm just going to start streaming because I think I can commit to at least an hour and see how it goes. And it ended up going just fine. But now I'm at the halfway point. I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's like diminishing returns. I'm proud of what I've gotten done. And that's where that line of doing your best versus like burning out is. And it's a very, very fragile, thin line for sure. But I know it's helpful whenever I do feel that way to share that. Another pro tip, again, I am not a therapist, okay? This is not mental health advice. This is just art more so and like the way I handle things. I try not to get too lost in like why I'm feeling kind of weird unless it happens for multiple days. Sometimes you just feel weird. I think there's like a general rule of thumb where it's like the 30% rule or whatever the fuck it is, where it's just like as long as you're feeling not bad more than 30% of the time, like you're probably doing just fine. If you think about it, 30% is kind of a lot. So like, relax. It's okay. Just be chill. Yes, optimal creative battery usage. Exactly. Exactly. Sater says, I've thought about letting y'all know what I look like, but I hate photos of myself. Never feel like they capture the essence of me. I know what you look like because you shared something on Instagram and it showed your Instagram account and it's a picture of you and your wife. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Sater and his wife. I didn't actually like stalk your profile page, though I wanted to, because it was like, oh, download the app. And I'm like, I will not. But I have seen your face and your eyeball. Yoni says, I do it glad, I do it sad, I do it mad. That's beautiful. That's how I feel about art. Reaper's got stuff to do. See you later. Yeah, see you later as well. I'm going to throw Yoni's thing there in the tavern quotes because I really love that. I do it sad, I do it glad, I do it mad. Oh, that's super funny. Art. Sometimes it's simple. It's beautiful. Sapphire says, Mia, what did Aloha say the other day? Come back to it when you have a creative battery rather than a dad battery. Yeah. It's using your battery smart. Never force yourself to push too much. Exactly. Sater says, I use instead of stock artists, not for posting. Okay, well, there was definitely a picture of your face, and it definitely had a username that had to have been you. Go ahead, you shall meet empty. Oh, yeah, that's fair. I see what you're saying now. Mucky recommends also taking a walk, doing something else, even just playing a video game. Anything lets your brain calm down, it all helps. Yeah, I get more hell-bent on like why brain isn't calmed down. I'm like, why so upset? What's the problem? And sometimes you just gotta like treat your brain like a toddler. And it's like, the toddler probably doesn't have a great reason. That's not valid or whatever, but it's probably not great. So like maybe get an ice cream and move on. Sarah said also that picture is like 8 years old now. Close enough though. Maybe I'll just think you look young for your age forever. Nothing wrong with that. But yes, I like to be transparent with you guys, but never to worry you guys. I'm doing great. Like, things are good. If things are not good, I would just tell you guys. I'd be like, I am not good. That's what it would sound like. Simple as that. But I'm good. Oh, Max is here. Just joined. Watch my feedback. Any advice on the shoes? Ah, yes. Shoes. Okay, so you went with a wrap approach. So it's not like a full shoe. It looks like it's a couple of, more like what like a monk would wear almost. And in that case, you could just use the exact same approach with a curved strap snap brush as well. Thank you on the bag tips, by the way. Of course. Emperor says, sorry, another question for you, Mia. I'm going to delete your sorry. You say, hello, another question for you. And I'm happy to answer. Oh, Satyr, yeah, you're mean to yourself. But you don't count. Satyr says, I could never treat a toddler the way I treat my brain. What a horrible thing to say. I mean the other way around, like be nice to yourself. I'm pretty sure Mia just endorsed a form of abuse. No. Empress, what is your question? Also, who's welcoming? Oh, I already welcomed them. We're good. All right. Oh, cool. More stuff from Reefer. I always love to see that. Emperor says, I want to work more during the day, but I also know working on the same thing for several hours a day is not healthy. What can I do? I'm thinking. Good thing Mia has no plan for kids. Yeah, I know. There's nothing wrong with working on the same thing for many hours a day. Just don't, if you're having a good time and you're flowing with it, that's fine. But if you're nitpicking and being a jerk to yourself, then no. Then I would set like a 30-minute timer or something. But there's nothing wrong with that, especially I would just go about it in a very like soft, cozy, creative way of just like mellow. Put on some music, grab some tea, like just don't make it a high stress weirdo situation. Does that make sense? But there's nothing wrong with working on the same thing for a long time. Max says, also, what would be the next assignment? A steps assignment after I've adjusted the shoes in the bag. It will be detail, which is like adding thickness and stuff. Speaking of, I didn't double check your mesh. Are you creating it with single-sided poly the way that you're supposed to? Yes, because I can't see the back of this. Very good. You're doing everything correct. And then you'll need to reference that how to sculpt the dress video on adding thickness back, which is using dynamic subdiv. But yes, the next assignment is going to be detail. I can go ahead and send that to you. That way you're all set, and that way you're not having to wait on me, just in case you're ahead of it. And again, Max, you're probably going to do this entire character again, I predict, in like 6 months. It's just kind of the way of things. So don't feel like you have to nail it this first time. You're already learning so much, and the most important thing is just getting used to that workflow. Does that make sense? You're doing fantastic. Max is perfect, thank you. Of course. Sipar says, what is this magical low-stress place you speak of? Gotta create your cozy space. Headphones help. Oh my god, Satyr, I already didn't want a child. You're giving me nightmares. Oh my gosh. Monkey says, so you're saying I need to put my brain in the corner, take away his video games, and give him a long lecture about why we don't poop in the bathtub. Oh my god. No children ever, thank you. That's exactly how you should treat your brain. On a metaphorical note, kind of. If you're shitting on yourself, being mean to yourself, yeah. I can spin this to make my point work. I just have to do some mental gymnastics. Yoni says spread the love. Yoni is on it today with the wisdom. I like it. All right, I'm going to sign off before I say something stupid. We're on last call. So I'm going to sign off in like 2-3 minutes. If you have any relevant questions, feel free to ask. Now would be a great time. Spread war, not love. Wait, wrong book. Sater said that was a good spin. Thank you. Stop the wag. Alright, sweet. I think we are all set. At M3DM we say, spread love, not war. So shit in your bathtub and don't clean it up. Alright. I don't even have any brain left to spin on that. Take care, everyone. I need to go and cook on this tree stump. You guys made my day better, objectively. Thanks for being part of it. And thanks for letting me be part of your day as well. I hope the rest of your day is good. Days be dayin'. Okay, I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.